In a few moments, I'll sign a historic executive order to ban men from competing in women's sports. It's about time. Under the Trump administration, we will defend the proud tradition of female athletes, and we will not allow men to beat up, injure, and cheat our women and our girls. From now on, women's sports will be only for women.
Transgender female athletes will be allowed to continue competing in Maine. That's according to the Maine Principals Association. And a law professor in New England says Maine has several ways to challenge President Trump's executive order if schools with those athletes lose funding. The MPA says it will continue to follow the state's law when it comes to gender identity. Maine has a Human Rights Act, and a law professor at UNH says there are several ways the president's order, titled Keeping Men Out of Women's Sports, can be challenged in court.
First prong might be this executive order doesn't have the force of law, or it doesn't have the force of law in this state. The second prong might be that it runs afoul of Title IX, insofar as the argument would be that Title IX requires schools to allow transgender girls to participate in girls' sports.
He says it could also be argued the order violates the 14th Amendment. 2 trans student athletes in New Hampshire are suing the Trump administration over his order. The same students won their lawsuit against New Hampshire over the summer for the state's trans ban.
Is Maine here, the governor of Maine? Well, are you not going to comply with it?
Complying with state and federal laws.
We are the federal law. Well, you better do it. You better do it, because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't.
They're going to learn their lesson with messing with King Trump. Maine is making a choice, and most choices have consequences. King Trump! We got to talk about this epic clash between Donald J. Trump and Maine's governor, Janet Mills. Obviously, Maine is making a decision, and decisions have consequences at times. I think that Janet Mills is posturing and virtual signaling, and it's going to cost her constituents big time. Didn't these regressives learn anything with Canada and Trudeau Castro with the tariffs? Trump don't care. He ain't backing down. Just like the verbiage that they use. He's king, and you better follow what the king says. The Mexico president, she got it real quick. She figured it out real fast. Oh, you can posture up all you want and virtual signal all you want. You don't like what he's saying. You want to go on this tariff war battle with them, but guess what she did? She bowed down on her knees and she kissed the ring, because Trump does not care, and this is exactly why we need a leader like him in office to stand up to these people that continue to virtual signal. This is all over men trying to compete in women's sports.
Man, so last night I got to be on CNN International to speak out against Trump and the policies he's enforcing for trans people. For so long, I've had to be quiet. For so long, I've lived around people who just don't understand me. Like 15 years ago, I will never forget it, but I went on Facebook before I had a platform, before I had anything. I had nothing to lose. I went to Facebook and I came out. I came out as being trans. I told everybody, I feel like a man. I don't feel like a woman. There's no words to describe how I feel. I just do. I'm going to keep doing what I do. I love all of you. I'm sorry I can't fix this on my own, but together, it's us against Trump. I don't know why, but it's just now hitting me. Never in a million years would I think I'd be speaking in front of millions of people to just try to get equal rights to anybody who's not trans or in a group that's being targeted right now. You don't understand how we're just trying to exist. We're not trying to hurt anybody. We fought so hard as a LGBTQ community to get to a point of just respect, and a man like Donald Trump is trying to take all of that away because he doesn't understand us.
We all know Trump passed, he signed an executive order to ban men.
Yeah. Watch what I do, and then I'm going to give you some pens, okay? You ready? What a nice picture this is, huh, Governor? You ready? We'll do a good job. Wait, let me press that. I want to make this a really good signature because this is, this is a big one, right? Oh, I think we have a 10. We have a 10.
God bless you, Mr. President.
That pose and try to be women, act like women, are blackface of dressing up to be women, and compete against girls in their sports and women in their sports. And there's just countless examples of them getting dominated and men pummeling them in their sport. It's not right. It's not fair. They are cowards and should be competing against other men.
So today I will be telling all of my trainers and coaches that I will be competing in the men's category in all of my upcoming ski races and trail runs. I'm not sure how they're going to take it, but when I explain to them my cause and what I'm doing to prevent the erosion of women's sports, I hope they're on board. If not, I'll need to find other coaches and trainers, but it's definitely something that's talked about, and to be honest, I don't even know if they know that I'm trans, but they're going to find out today. So wish me luck, and again, thanks for all the support from my other videos. This is just a small part that I'm playing in what I deem as a very noble cause, and the little that I can do to make this happen, I'm very proud and excited to be able to do that. But I'm going to work my butt off because I don't just want to compete, I want to do well to prove a point. So follow along, and thanks a lot, guys.
We don't care about their mental illness disorder. It's wrong. So he signs an executive order. So we got, of course, the Democrats, the regressives, these liberals, virtual signaling, and now trying to posture. Maine, the governor of Maine, is just one of many of the states that are doing this. California, we know batshit liberal California is going to do it. Maine now, and Minnesota. Oh, buddy, out there, what's his name? Oh, Tampon Tim? Yeah, Minnesota. Minnesota is one of the states as well that is trying to posture up in virtual signal on this subject of what most Americans, 80-something% of Americans agree that they just don't want men competing in women's sports. And the Democrats can't figure out why they did not get reelected, why they lost in such a landslide, why so many millions of Americans rejected their lies, their virtual signaling, their BS, their ideology. But anyway, enough with me running my mouth. If it's your first time on the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. I only do mean tweet commentary. I call out the hypocrisies and highlight the batshit liberal TDS that we are so used to seeing now, and them just having their liberal meltdowns. I call it out. I call out the hypocrisy. They didn't like Trump's mean tweets. That's all I do is mean tweet commentary. With that being said, let's get into the video. All right, I'm going to give you my commentary as we go so I don't get any copyright bans, but I'll make sure I put the link in the bio so that you can watch it all the way through, but I promise you I won't interrupt too much. Let's see who our boy, the king.
But they have to come in legally. 2 weeks ago, I signed an executive order banning men from playing in women's sports. Many Democrats are fighting me on that. I hope you continue because you'll never win another race. And it's just crazy. If you look at what happened with the boxing, if you look at what happened with the weightlifting numbers, where a record that hadn't been broken for 19 years got shattered. But, they put up an eighth of an ounce here, an eighth of an ounce there, and it's 218 pounds or whatever, a lot. And hadn't been broken in 19 years. And then guy walks up.
You got to admit, man, Trump is funny as hell, man.
Who transitioned? He transitioned, and he knocked out.
Who transitioned? Who transitioned? This guy is hilarious, bro. Oh,
he knocked out that record by about 100 pounds. That will be a record not going to be broken again in a long. So we put a ban on it, and to protect women. I mean, the women. If you watch the Olympics, you had two transitioned people that were.
What he's getting ready to talk about is the girl, the dude beat the dog, the girl had to quit. I mean, it was off the chain. We all seen it, and social media did everything they could to try to suppress it and put their whack, fake, lying, you know what, fact checking on it. And when it was a damn man.
Fighting in the women's boxing, they have women's boxing category. And if you saw that, it was brutal. What happened to
Brutal.
the Italian woman was a really good boxer. After one punch, she said, no more, no more. I've never been hit. It was a left. It was not even it was just a left jab.
Trump is funny as shit, man. He said it was a left jab.
She got hit so hard, she said, I can't do it. They forced her to go out. No, go out again. You'll do it. Goes out again, gets hit again. No, that's it. She didn't want to die. And that's crazy, but the NCAA has complied immediately, by the way. That's good. But I understand Maine. Is the Maine here, the governor of Maine?
Not here,
Are you not going to comply with it?
complying with state and federal laws.
Well, we are the federal law. Well, you better do it. You better do it because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't. And by the way, your population, even though it's somewhat liberal, although I did very well there, your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better comply because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding.
See you in court.
Every state, good. I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should.
And this is exactly why we need Trump. You see how he ain't backing down? This is the problem with the Democrats. They're so used to having an ironclad over the government that now they're in a rude awakening and they're in shock and they don't understand, and they will understand when the Supreme Court literally upholds what Trump did. It's an executive order. She has an obligation to follow the executive order. And I'm going to go into it with my closing of remarks, but this is the problem with the Democrats. They've had an ironclad for so long over the government that they are now in shock and they have a cognitive dissonance and they can't grasp. Their brain is at war with the fact that they're not running the show no more. It's like their Black Messiah said. Barack Obama said, if the Republicans want to make up their rules, then they need to win elections. Elections have consequences. Well, we won the election. The Republicans won the election. We're setting the rules. We're now going back to law and order and setting the standard. These people are nutball, man, nutball.
Doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better comply because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding.
See you in court.
Every state, good. I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should be a real easy one. And enjoy your life after governor because I don't think you'll be in elected politics.
She won't.
Every state has a responsibility to comply with Title IX. They have an obligation, a legal obligation, and we'll be enforcing aggressively, and we're going to be protecting our citizens. We're going to protect. So just to end.
Trump has been doing exactly what he said he was going to be doing from day one. I mean, these people, man, what's wrong with these regressive liberals, man? These people are nuts. The American people have already responded.
Okay, y'all. Trump just did it. And I'm just going to say this. I have no problem with trans women, gay men. I ain't got no problem with the LGBTQ community. If I missed the letter, I apologize because we know how sensitive y'all is. I ain't got no problem. You do you, you live your life. Can nobody tell you what to do with your own life? But I'm just going to say this. Trump just banned trans men from women's sports. If I messed that up, he just banned trans men in women's sports. And good. I'm happy about it. A trans man should not be in a woman's sport. That's just logic, man. Sure. You should not want balls in your daughter's sports. It's just wrong. I don't care how much stuff you pump into your body to be a woman, you still a damn man. You came out with a pocket monster. Let's just keep it what it is. A man should not be in women's sports. Men should not go into women's bathrooms. I'm sorry. If you're a trans man, be a trans man. But damn, Go in the man's bathroom, lift that damn sit up, and pee. Or sit down, whatever you like to do. Have a nice day. If your man come at me, come. Pause. But you want some beef with me? Just go to hell.
They don't want men competing in women's sports. They don't want boys playing and competing in girls' sports.
I was just listening to the Donald Trump thing on trans playing in women's sports. And he and the governor of Maine were going like back and forth. And she was like, I'll see you in court. One thing about me though, y'all, and let me know your opinion. I don't think men should be playing in women's sports at all because they already have an advantage. Like, I think if you were born a man, you should not be playing in women's sports. That's just me. Because I'm a former athlete, and so I already know. Even though he might feel like he's a woman and a girl, you're just stronger. You're just naturally stronger than women. So anyway, I also feel like women who think they're men probably shouldn't even be playing in women's sports. Because normally if they think they're men, then they're taking the hormones to become a man. Am I wrong? Let's talk about it. Talk to me.
And it's what's crazy is they're the ones that push this feminism of my body, my choice, and this pro-woman movement. But yet this is not pro-woman. This is anti-woman by allowing a grown-ass man to act like a woman, dress like a woman, take awards and achievements that they've worked for so many years away from them. It is just not physically fair on all levels. That it's just not right. And we see too many examples of this happening. And I believe that it's going to continue to keep happening unless we have leaders like Trump, people to continue standing up. But most of all, women have to stand up. But this is the problem with the Democrats because they're so used to having an ironclad over the government. They're going to be in complete shock when they find out that the Supreme Court is going to uphold what Trump has done. They have an obligation to follow it. He signed it in executive order. They have to follow it. But if they don't, which that seems like Maine is making a decision, and decisions do have consequences. Maybe not all of our choices have consequences, but in this case it does. It seems like Janet Mills is posturing and virtual signaling, and it's going to cost her constituents dearly. It's going to cut all federal funding. It's just like the immigration policies. All these sanctuary cities, it's crazy. Like when you have a conversation with them and you ask them about federal funding, all of them are in partnership. But when it comes to immigration policy and implementing those laws in those sanctuary states and cities, they don't want to uphold it. They want to continue to virtual signal, and they're going to pay dearly. This is no different. She wants to posture up. She wants to virtual signal for whatever reason when the American people have already responded, just like Trump said. Yeah, your state might be a predominant liberal state, but they have definitely responded that they do not want men playing in women's sports or in little girl sports. But for some reason, they don't want to adhere to that. They don't care. But just like so many people in Maine and all across America, they pay taxes into their state for their school, for the schools. They pay taxes into their towns for their school, and they pay taxes into the federal government for their schools, but yet they have not seen a single return on their investment. They haven't seen anything. All we have been seeing is liberal and regressive woke policies that have been implemented from the top down from these Marxists all the way into our school system of trying to brainwash our kids that somehow they can change their gender, that somehow that because they're white in a hundreds of years ago era of people that they had nothing to do with, not even connected to, because they're white, that somehow they're racist. Their critical race theories, their DEIs, their wokeism that separates and divides people and creates confusion and destruction is all we got. That's the investment we got with our tax-paying dollars, that they're just trying to brainwash and indoctrinate our children into liberalism, into wokeism. That's the investment we got. We haven't got anything back in return. And what Trump and his administration is doing is pointing it out. They're exposing them and highlighting the waste of money, the grift. Their grift is over. So Maine, like so many other, they have a choice to make. And what is that choice going to be? Are they going to lose their federal funding? She said that it would be Trump's fault that the people are getting funds cut from the school. No, it's not Trump's fault. It's Janet Mills' fault why their schools are not going to get the funding, why her constituents are not getting the funding. It's because of her decision, her political activism, her woke soldier, the wokeites activism. It's her choice. Anyway, either way, I want to know what your thoughts are on the subject. What do you think is going to happen out of this? Is it going to be like so many other examples that we've seen with Trump, with people that tried to buck up against him and eventually they have to bow and kiss the ring, in which they're using the verbiage now of he's king? Yes, he is y'all's king and he's your daddy. Either way, if you made it this far, I appreciate you watching it all the way through. Please hit the like, comment, and share button. If you're new, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I put out more mean tweet commentary, aka fire and brimstone commentary. As always, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for supporting my content. I appreciate you guys and I love you. With that being said, it's your boy Craig Long, 45. You can't make this shit up. I'm out. Peace.
Yeah, oi.